So now we are going to deal with in understanding of democracy. We have walked in the tour of a journey from understanding how is a democratic setup structure started, what are the foundations to have democracy, how would be the government types, the federation, federal structure, federalism, and then we moved on to the political parties, the understanding of political parties. So in this tour of democracy, now we are coming to the real life situation where the expectations towards democracy. How are the expectations towards democracy? So that is a chapter name coming with chapter number 7, Outcomes of Democracy. So when it comes to the outcomes of democracy, how can you say that these will be the outcomes of democracy or that will be the outcomes of democracy? When we were discussing about the number of countries which have opted for democracy, that was nearly 100 countries in the past 50 years have turned towards in the favor of democracy. So the 20th century, the best form of democracy, the best form of government in literal terms is democracy. So democracy is considered as the best form of government of 20th century. So this is the major outcome of the situation. But now, why did people have chosen democracy to be the best form of government of the 20th century or the 21st century? Because most of the countries have experienced in the 20th century the form of government that is dictatorship. So in relation with democracy versus the dictatorship or dictatorship versus the democracy, most of the people have chosen to go for democracy rather than for dictatorship. So they said no to dictatorship and yes to democracy. So the initially which made the people to opt or choose or stand by the side of democracy was the comparison between the dictatorship and the democratic structure. So now the point is democracy able to fulfill all the dreams, wishes, needs of the people in reality? So how can we assess the functioning of democracy? So that is a fundamental question now. How do we assess the outcomes of democracy? So how do we assess the outcomes of democracy is a larger and a very big question. Why should we assess the outcomes of democracy at all? What is the purpose to assess the outcomes of democracy? See, till the form of the government has been established, the people have chosen to go for the best form of government, that is democracy. But once the democracy has come, people started to expect more from democracy. So let us try to understand what are the basic factors that favors for the democracy. The first one is enhances equality or promotes the concept of equality. When the concept of equality was brought initially in the dictatorship or in the aristocracy or in the oligarchy or in any other form of government, we usually have to have a feeling that there are the native citizens and we also have the people who are not having the native structure. They are considered as slaves or second grade citizens. We also have the active citizens, passive citizens concept in the previous societies. But as the time passed on, people realized that we all are born with the same capabilities. So we all are equal. So the concept of equality has been promoted clearly in the democratic form of government. So that is a basic form which added flavor to to make democracy a really interesting and compulsory for the people for the modern generations. The next one is the concept of dignity. The word dignity is assured for everybody in the society. It is not given to only one particular section of people, one particular group of people, or one particular religious backdrop people. Dignity has been assured to all people, irrespective of their caste, color, creed, religion, race. So, whomever they may be, whichever region they may be belonging to, but dignity is must and mandatory in the democratic structure. So, second basic thing what they have is the dignity in democracy. The third one is improves in decision making. In regards to quality. So, there is a clear debate, discussion procedure which elaborately happens in both the houses, in the lower house, in the upper house. The views are collected, recorded, again they have been finalized, then they would go for a conclusion which is suitable best. So the best one will be picked up. So while the decision has been taken, a deliberate and detailed procedure has been followed, which makes it very clear to all the people that this is a major outcome of the debates and the government has chosen to opt for this kind of changes. In this way, it is giving clarity for all the people of what they are happening. So it brings out the quality output on the decision making. So the third major point is the quality output of decision making, and then it also have the methods